Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Outlook Business Advantage India Chemical Summit.
New and
Ravi,
innovative products.
you've been listening for far too long. Time to step in with your wisdom.
I have the luxury of never having run a chemical plant in my life,
And therefore, you can be very
please
critical
take
of not just the
what I
government,
tell
but
you.
also the companies.
Yeah, okay, I just have a couple of points. One, I think it is fallacious to believe that India should make everything for itself. I think it's in an industry as diverse as the chemical industry is, and in which competitiveness varies depending on what part of the value chain you're operating on. I think we have to be extremely judicious in terms of the kind of investments that we make in the industry. There is now a kind of euphoria that we need to look at the import data of what we are importing, look at the largest volumes of those chemicals and make them here. I think this is an extremely simplistic way of looking at things. Competitiveness stems from a variety of factors, and in at least the commodity chemical space, access to critical raw materials, feedstock, mostly in the hydrocarbon values chain, even till date, is critical. In a country which is deficient in those kind of hydrocarbons, to say that we are going to build plants and then we will have a scenario where these investors will go back to government 4 to 5 years from now and say that, look, I'm uncompetitive, please support me by raising import tariffs, levying duties, levying standards, all kinds of tariff and non-tariff barriers. You will do a great injustice to the downstream consuming industries, and many of them are still in the chemical space.
Right.
I think it has to be very judicious choice of industries that we want to nurture based on inherent competitiveness. And in my view, much of that competitiveness comes if you go down value chains into more, I hate to use the word specialty chemicals because I don't think there is any such thing in this world today. I would say at least complex, a little more complex chemistries. Countries like India and China have ensured that there is nothing special in specialty chemicals. It's also a myth that there is only money to be made in these so-called specialties. Companies, and we have got at least two of them represented in this audience, who do largely operate in the commodity chemical space, are exceptionally good at managing those life cycles that those industries go through, and they still come ahead of the game. So my limited point, be careful of plonking government money down holes on which, which are inevitable sinks, and instead be careful on what kind of industries you want to support. And there are a lot of industries that are worthy of support, which need the support and which can benefit. Support, fiscal support is a good thing to have, but it is not a sufficient condition. You need a lot more in terms of, I think, the well-known issues related to infrastructure, related to standards in which the industry operates, rationalization even of land availability today. I mean, I think it's a huge concern today. Where does the industry is to grow at 10 to 12% year on year? Maharashtra and Gujarat are chock-a-block. We have to find new homes for this industry. It will have to be in other parts of the country. That those kind of infrastructures are key, I think, if we are going to attract investments. China is an elephant in the room. Roughly speaking, they are 5 times bigger than we are in terms of the size of the industry. China exports more to the world than we produce in total. I think those are very, very large shoes to fill in. I don't see that realistically happening anytime in the near future. Yes, companies will choose India as an option to sourcing from China, but that's a de-risking approach that any sensible businessman takes. It's gone from beyond sourcing from one company to sourcing from multiple countries. It's an evolution and it's a realization of some of the fallouts that we have seen, disruptions in supply chains. COVID is not the first disruption in supply chain that has happened. We have seen several other disruptions in the past. So my limited point, great to invest in India, but be judicious about where you put the money.
So you're saying that both to the companies and to the government, where government is putting money, is it being wise in the choice of products they are prioritizing?
Well, the priorities have not yet been publicly listed, but I do know that they are looking at some areas in which they are going to be supporting. And as would be expected, there are pressures and counter pressures to, add my product and his product and not that product into those lists. But it's crucial that we don't end up. I've seen this industry for too long, and inevitably, what happens then when you have these compromised competitiveness, then there are these pleas for other kinds of support, which is a never-ending story. I come back to my point: don't jeopardize the industry, the downstream industry's competitiveness by raking up their availability of raw materials and chemical inputs. So that's something I think very important, because I think that is where India's true competitiveness lies.
Fair enough. I can see JR smile.